Oh my goodness, guys. JD Vance just went nuclear on Fox News. This is crazy. He literally called President Biden a dumpster fire. He called his administration a dumpster fire. And it was so good to see. Another thing that everyone is talking about right now is at the White House press briefing room with Karine Jean-Pierre. She was taking questions and things got a little spicy, if you know what I mean. Guys, this is going to be so good. But I want us to start here with JD Vance. This is incredible. Check this out.
Has left us an absolute dumpster fire. Now, we're excited to get to work, but we need to be open and honest about the fact that President Biden has not left the next administration in a good place. We have a wide open southern border. Oil is going through the roof. Bond yields went from 4.1% to 4.8% in a month. On top of the fact that President Biden has been running the largest peacetime deficits in the history of this country.
What I think is phenomenal is how different the country and the world is now than it was in January of 2017.
It's incredible. I mean, just foreign policy. You have two new wars on your watch with Israel, which could wind down at some point and be a huge accomplishment if it does. Same with Ukraine, Afghanistan. I mean, so much has happened. But JD Vance, one thing I was struck by in his interview, he's such a good messenger for this administration. At one point, he talked about compassion and looking at people with compassion, just this kind of soft undertone to the policies they're going to put forward. He talked about the January 6th pardons and the way they're going to methodically kind of work through that. He is a very thoughtful and I think will be a very effective vice president and putting a real soft face on what are going to be some hard policies, deportations and the like.
Still,
Exactly. This is something that I've been saying for a while. I'm really, really impressed with JD Vance. His ability to communicate is so extraordinary, especially because he doesn't use language that is demeaning, or he doesn't try to make people feel dumb or silly, but he's trying to make people feel human. Like these are tough conversations that he's going to be having, and he's not like President Trump, who just says things. No, he's actually very analytical. He's very logical. He's very, as Kaylee says, he's very thoughtful. And I just think this is really, really good. So I'm excited about what he does in the next 4 years. And a lot of people are asking, like, oh my gosh, well, like in this question right now, like Peter Doocy asked Karine, like, oh, what does the future of the Democratic Party look like? Like, who is the leader of the Democratic Party? And I love how no one really asks that question, like in terms of like post-Trump. What does the Republican Party look after Trump? Like we actually have some really heavy hitters on our side. Like aside from JD Vance, which is extraordinary, there's so many other prominent leaders. But the fact that this isn't even a question on the right just shows that we actually have kind of a machine that's well oiled, and there's a unity here that's really impressive, unlike the dumpster fire, as JD Vance just said to Karine. So check this out. This is the next thing I wanted to share. This clip is going absolutely viral on X right now.
Hi.
Thank you, Karine. If I don't see you again in the briefing, thank you for always. You could have stopped taking the hard questions years ago, and you didn't. So we appreciate that.
Over 2 years, my friend. This is let's say one last dance, right? I don't know how I'm going to fill my dance card now. How will I fill that void without you?
You tell me. You tell me.
How will I fill that card without you, or that void without you? Holy smokes. And you can see eyebrows are raised here in this room. Jeez, holy smokes.
Start some rumors in here, I guess.
he's getting red too. Look at him.
So a week from now, it's all over.
Yes.
Between next Monday and 2028.
2028.
Who's the leader of the Democratic Party?
Oh my goodness. Wow. That is for people much smarter than I to make that assessment, that decision. Obviously, voters will decide. That is not something for me to decide. I could say right now, in this moment, in this room, as I'm looking at the clock as it's counting down, because we have to leave shortly, you have the President Joe Biden, who is obviously the president and the leader of the Democratic Party. I do not have I cannot predict the future, so that is not something that I'm going to do from here.
Amazing. Absolute shambles. Who's the leader of the Democratic Party? Honestly, I wouldn't be able to tell you. That's crazy. President Biden is not the leader of the Democratic Party. I don't know how long he hasn't been. They tried plugging in Kamala Harris. That really didn't work. You even have prominent voices like Gavin Newsom, who was supposed to have a great 2028 run. And you know what happened? California went in a dumpster fire. You know what? I actually saw that Brett Cooper just mentioned this too in regards to Gavin Newsom. Check this out. Wasn't planning on mentioning this, but this is good anyways. Right? Someone's like, knowing this interview was not conducted on a boat in choppy water, what would make Gavin Newsom uncontrollably sway back and forth like this? And you can see here.
Governor, the budget is obviously a paramount process for you and the legislature. And I just want to ask you about
That is some crazy swing. Holy smoke.
topic on public safety. Do you think it looks good to the taxpayer for an assembly member who is also the wife of the attorney general to lead a committee that oversees his budget and other departments?
I literally don't know what you're referring to.
I literally don't know what you're referring to. My guy is clocked out. He is checked out. He is done. He doesn't know what's going on, and he's just he really he is on rocky waters. And Brett Cooper says all of his 2028 dreams are disappearing. Jeez. It's kind of no, I was gonna say it's kind of sad. I feel bad for the guy. I don't. You know what? Because there is accountability, and then there is just like pure deflection, and you're just deflecting. My guy, you weren't even paying attention to the question. What is going on here? It's crazy, and people are so extraordinarily upset. So Gavin's not the answer. Kamala Harris wasn't the answer. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring back Hillary just for fun, but nonetheless, Democratic Party is in trouble. There's this other clip that I wanted to share. I saw this from End Tribalism, but Jillian Michaels, this person wrote, Jillian Michaels just went nuclear on the California government's handling of the wildfires, and I thought it was interesting. Check this out.
You should have been prepared. We're not going to allow politics to come into this.
Nonsense.
This is all politics. You cut the budget of the fire department there by $17 million. Fire hydrants were broken, reservoirs were dry, new reservoirs that were supposed to have been commissioned in 2014 via Proposition 1, not one of those reservoirs has been completed. The forests are mismanaged, no control burns have been done. All of this should have been in place already. And I would love to give it to you. Like, let's say that you do have global warming. I'm not an expert on this, but I'm gonna run with it. Knowing that you have global warming and knowing that California is inherently a tinderbox and you have the Santa Ana winds and it is simply a climate that is ripe for these kinds of catastrophes. How are you so grossly underprepared?
These are the real questions. And I love that Nicole Shanahan was saying, like, no, like a lot of this has like nothing to do with climate change, but leadership. And this was actually echoed in one of the comments right here. Christian Patriot wrote, this disaster had nothing to do with climate change and everything to do with incompetent and ineffective leadership. Some people, like Bernie Sanders, might try to disagree with you, but geez, they're completely ignoring like the truth. And one of the other top comments shows the Democrat Party just come in rubbles. It's crazy. This was actually produced by Garak, but nonetheless, it is so good. Anyways, guys, that's the video today. I know it's kind of a short one, but at least we got through some of these conversations. We're going from JD Vance torching Biden for leaving a dumpster fire. That is tough. He totally went nuclear, as well as a bombshell hitting Karine Jean-Pierre from Peter Doocy. And this is actually kind of a wholesome moment. And it's crazy how he was even elevating her for answering the hard and tough questions, when in fact, many times she was someone who was more so deflecting instead of actually answering anything. But you know what? Deflecting is a skill, right? So I really show a lot of appreciation to her right now. Oh man, there was this other clip. It was actually an extension of that first video. I'll just read it. He's like, so there's no leader of the party? KJP writes, or said, that's not what I said. Well, it's President Biden and it's not President Harris. Like, oh my gosh, I'm regretting this now. That is crazy. KJP, I'm regretting all of this. That is nuts. But hey, that's the Democratic Party of 2025, apparently. So crazy. Anyways, let me know what you think about some of these conversations that we had today, and I will see you all next time. All right, have a good one. Episode's over already. Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.